good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the show. It's a boy live episode 13. You might want to turn that down a little bit there. Yeah, man, we're going to bring you in episode 13, Her Boy Live. This week, we're going to go over the news and what's going on in the world of Hollywood, entertainment, sports, and, the regular news. First, we're going to introduce our guest, the founder of No BackBoards Basketball League. The No Backboard Basketball League is one of the most innovative versions of basketball available today. The league introduces innovations with the hoop, the ball, and the gameplay to create a totally different game. A different game that challenges every aspect of the modern basketball athlete, skills, and its sets. Let's welcome Mark T to the show.
What's up?
You did.
What's happening? What's happening?
Bring the microphone a little too closer to you here.
Like this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's
We
go
got
ahead.
you.
Oh, that's... Now I got it.
There we go.
I got this now.
There we go.
Hey, did you write that or did you read that?
I stole it from your site.
Dang,
It's
I wonder
beautifully
who wrote
written.
it.
Beautifully
It
written.
sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. It sounds good. Hey,
Most
also,
definitely.
my man right here,
What's his name? I'm sorry.
it's all right. Everybody should know him, though, by now. DJ Mustard, at DJ Mustard with a Z on
Okay.
IG.
Mm-hmm.
Say
And
what's
you,
up, DJ?
you DJ?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is DJ. DJ Mustard with a Z. That's what I go by.
You know, there's a
actually
DJ. There's a
Do you
huge big
DJ?
DJ Mustard, right?
Well, actually, so it's funny you said that. So
Okay.
he actually changed his name to, it's only Mustard now, and it's with an S.
Okay.
So I peeped that, and I was like, I kind of like this name, but just like you said, there's the hip hop guy, DJ Mustard.
Mhm.
So that's why I say it's always DJ Mustard with a Z. You know what I'm saying? I got to be a little different.
Right. Okay.
So
I got you,
I
bro.
peeped that. I did.
Well, welcome to the show, gentlemen. We appreciate you coming through, man. It's going to be a great day here. We're going to talk about a lot about your league, and I want you guys to break it down to me, Mark. How did you come up with the league? Why did you bring this league to the city? And how important is the league to you?
Great question. So the No Backboard Basketball League, the vision of it is a new recreational basketball
Mhm,
platform to provide opportunities for Black and brown individuals to
Mhm.
actually own wealth creating assets
Yeah.
in the sports space. It's really, and that's a result of I created a game
Right.
after talking to venture capitalists and realizing some holes.
Mm-hmm.
It's great I had a game, but how are you going to make money?
Right.
What's the business model?
Right.
So the No Backboard Basketball League technically is the vehicle to make basketball the remix, the modern interpretation of the original game, available to the public,
Right.
and then create a vehicle for new opportunities in a variety of ways.
Wow. I mean, I've met you before in another business venture, and I've always loved everything about your drive on how perfect you want your league and your vision of your league to look, how it's represented, how you want people to see it is very, very important to you, man. How much have you invested? Time, emotion, how much have you invested just getting this started and getting this going? And when exactly did you start?
Now that is a good question right there. In a nutshell, about 1997, 98, I had
Wow.
opportunity to get exposed to the idea of playing basketball without a backboard.
Mm-hmm.
I was serving as an assistant at a summer camp where a gentleman had a facility he built for volleyball, but he put these netball hoops up.
Okay.
And being a former college Division I athlete, basketball player, I just start shooting on them. Organized kids and saw the kids play with them. None of them ever asked where the backboard was.
Wow. 'Cause I would have been like,
They was just playing.
Right.
Some are right.
But the light went off when I started to go and play because I was still active at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I would go play, and I'm a career 50%, 49% D1 basketball player from the
Okay.
floor, right?
Okay.
But 17 foot in.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
I was shooting the ball at such a high clip from the three
Mm-hmm.
that I knew there was something there
Right.
because I was fundamentally sound, But the addition of training on this hoop with no backboards is in a smaller hoop, just by simply doing that, not working on my technique, my form, and nothing. That was there, but that wasn't the focus. I would walk in, and no longer were they like, "Hey, we want you because you're 6'6". Like, no, we want you because you can shoot the ball.
Right.
And that started the process. So the idea for the game came, and then I actually read Bill Gates' book, The Road Ahead.
Okay.
And then the vision for wanting to do something with the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, I was sitting in a Bible study, and this man prophetically just declared that there are industries inside you, and I grabbed it.
Wow.
I grabbed it, and I started me on a journey. Fast forward, 2002, got a patent issued on a basketball game apparatus and method of play.
Wow.
Did a series of proof of concept events, 2004 through 2007, and then about 2007 to about 2011 was effort into trying to get some type of television programming.
Right.
Was unsuccessful, and so I just took a step back, waiting for what I like to say my Noah season.
Right.
Meaning the original vision from 1997 was a network of facilities that play this sport only, that are all connected through the internet, bypassing cable, bypassing networks, and delivering it directly to the end user.
Right.
Now, if I told you that in 2000, your eyes would gloss over.
Right.
If I told you that in 2010, your eyes are still glossing over. The ability for anybody to do what we're doing right now, in this studio, someplace in Phoenix, and anyone in the world can see us if they have the channel, is something that has probably become available maybe about 5 years ago, but every year after that, it's more and more accessible. So when the pandemic hit, that was my sign to pivot. I left corporate America, left my job, and started ride sharing, got incorporated in July, invested into hoops, invested in some demonstrations to get the idea out there. And now I'm doing a traditional capital raise, as well as we launched a crowdfunding campaign on Patreon, which we call the Social Club.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing, man. With this a little bit of time, I really was going to guess you've been doing it as a business way longer than that, just because just how put together everything has been. You have a new season coming up with 2022 in a couple months, right? When is that going to launch? And when can everybody come in and check you guys out?
Great question. So our next step is we're going to do a series of beta test leagues, and we're going to make those games available to them in full form to the members of the Social Club. Okay. So for the next 12 to 18 months, most of our games are only going to be available behind gated content to the social members of the Social Club. Okay. We want to use our Social Club as a focus group, a marketing focus group, to help us tweak it, refine it, make it polished, make it sing and snap. Because it's all in my head, but I know I don't have all the answers. Right. So I think it's important to have a season where it's shared amongst a community of supporters. Like, hey, man, I'm going to support you on this. Right. And in exchange for that, great, help me, give me your feedback. What do you think about this? What do you think you can help? Yeah. So what I envision is on the other side of that 12 to 18 months, we would do a serious public launch where we actually have a facility. Our own facility. And then at that point, it'd be widely open to the public. But we don't want to be premature and put something out there that, to your point, isn't as polished, put together, and strategically ready for the marketplace. Because once you put it out there and you want people to pay money for it, it needs to be tight. It needs to be ready to go. When you're building this group, that's what you're building. It's like a subscription, right? People are going to pay to be into this group to help out and everything. They're going to donate. It's a crowdfunding platform, but instead of asking for a one-time donation and then you get a T-shirt, I'm saying, hey, can you subscribe to this for 12 to 18 months? And that will provide the revenue stream for us to do a variety of things over the period of time, including getting into the facility, launching an IP channel, a global IP channel, and refining the game. And for those that help us with that process, what I'm excited about is we will develop a social governance utility NFT. Okay. So from my tech background, I understand blockchain conceptually, NFTs, et cetera. So in essence, what that's going to empower us to do, one of the things it's going to empower us to do is take that group that helps us refine the vision and then take it public and grow those 100 facilities.
Right.
Those people will participate in the profits and royalties from all 100 facilities because they helped us launch this in the first place.
Hey, that's a good investment. It's definitely a great investment for someone who wants to help a startup, help a company that's going to do something great, and also in the end, you'll get something in return.
And that's the new business, man. When you see what's emerging out there, we're moving from markets to community economies, right? Where because you watch our content, we're going to take a portion of our advertising revenue and send it back to the fans that watch our content. Wow. And the blockchain enables that type of capabilities. We're probably still several years away from that being really able to be executed seamlessly and easy, but that's the vision and it's going to happen. So what we're, like I tell our guys, we've launched a fantastic journey, voyage, if you would, lakeside. And we're inviting people to jump on this shit. And we're going to launch to the metaverse and meet the metaverse as opposed to wait for the metaverse.
Right.
And now we have to serve the metaverse. So I really think this is such a unique time in history with the emergence of awareness, technology, that if you can come to the market with something really new, really innovative, really exciting, but yet simple enough that a mass number of people can transition into it, you could really do something special. And that's what we're looking to do.
And I think you're doing something special, man. I love what you're doing, man. I think it's going to make a difference. My main thing that I think people may really gravitate to is having the option to train in these facilities. And people coming in and able to say, hey, I have a trainer who helped me. And he helped me using this no backboard, and it made me a better shooter. And then in return, you know what I'm saying, I went on to D2, D3, whatever it is. But these gentlemen helped me take that next step. And I think a lot of people will be interested in, especially since it takes up your shooting ability, and everybody wants to be Steph Curry.
Right. You're looking at me for,
right, Jimmy? Everybody want to be Steph and shoot it from 40 feet. So
that's interesting. You said that. DJ Mustard, what was your experience? Because I met DJ Mustard responding to some public outreach to guys, hey, come out and check this out. And he's been such a blessing. He's been consistent. He's gotten it originally, but there was a moment where he hadn't shot on the hoops. And then there's a moment where he shot on the hoops and went and played basketball and then came back. Tell us about that experience, DJ.
So basically, just like he said, I reached out, I responded to his ad or whatever, and I was very interested because, just the concept, just like everyone else, backboard, weird, interesting. So I went and I checked it out, and another concept that's really important about what we're doing is that the rims are smaller than the normal rim. Normal rim's 18 inches, we're 16 inches.
Right.
And, it is only 2 inches, and if you're just not really thinking about it, you're like, well, that's not that big of a difference.
Right.
Well, when you're shooting from 30, 40 feet, when the spin and all of those different aspects, that 2 inches makes a huge difference.
Yeah, man.
And even layups.
Right.
If you're not focused, the ball's coming out.
Right.
So with that being said, when I first shot on it, with not knowing Mark and I'm just shooting around, I'm like, I promise you, I'm not this bad at basketball. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm shooting, and I'm just like, all of these shots feel like they should be going in, and I just don't understand why. So I actually played, I think, maybe 2 sessions before Mark was like, just so you know, the rim is smaller. And the light bulb went off. And I was like, this makes so much sense.
Because DJ can shoot the ball pretty well.
Right.
Yeah, I firmly believe so. And not to toot my horn or anything, but yeah, and Yeah, so and then after a couple of sessions of that, I go back to playing around in doing my normal thing, and I'm just shooting. And I'm like, all right, I know I was pretty good before, but this is just ridiculous. Like I'm shooting shots that I'm just kind of throwing them up. I'm like, let's just see what happens, and they're all going in, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, man.
So pretty much after one or two sessions of just focusing on the fundamentals, shooting, and just understanding that you have to shoot the ball right. You have to, follow your form and practicing on the 16-inch. And then I go back to like your regular gym, where you have the backboard, you have a little more crutches and all that.
Right.
Just your game is it's way different. After that, that's what got me hooked.
Let's see. I love your story. And that's, like I said, that's exactly what I thought what people would gravitate to.
And that's the consistent story.
Yeah, man. Because people, hey, man, when you can see the difference and shooting and different, it's all about aim. When you make the aim harder, then you just open it up. It's like, oh my goodness, it's like this is nothing compared to what I was doing before.
Right.
Let's show the people the ball that you guys are using, so they can get a good look at it and see how different it is. Make sure you get a good shot of that, Jim. You see this?
Yeah, I see it. Man,
you see the ball, man. It's totally different. Now, why did you want to make the ball different, like in this fashion?
So to clarify, I'm not the inventor or manufacturer of this ball.
Okay.
However, the vision always included a ball that wasn't a traditional basketball.
Okay.
So I just love the way things worked out.
Right.
When I started to move, came across this guy.
Okay.
John Haynes, CEO of Rain Basketball.
Okay.
Rainbasketball.com. You can Google Rain Basketball.
Okay.
And you can use promotional code UHOOP, UHOOP, to get a discount on the Rain Ball at Rain Basketball.
That's
so
awesome.
That's UHOOP to get a discount. Now, the ball was designed for the human hand.
Okay.
So regardless of how you catch the ball, you catch seams. That's what your son said. He's like, I said, what do you notice? He's like you got seams everywhere, right? So it improves ball handling.
Okay.
It improves passing.
Wow.
It can even improve shooting.
And it looks like it's a little smaller, right?
It's not. I think what it is,
wow.
And that's an interesting observation. I think what it is because it has so many more seams.
Yeah.
You have how you want to. It looks smaller, but it's not. Still the same size.
Wow. That's crazy. It definitely did look smaller when I saw it. I'm like,
yeah.
And this one's not pumped up either.
Okay. Yeah. When I felt it, like it was a normal ball. Just, you know what I'm saying? It felt better in my hands than a regular one.
So I have one of my partners out there. Shout out to LT Lawrence Taylor, owner of 7 City Knights, Real Grind Hoops. You need to get him on your show as well.
Okay, I definitely will.
Okay, one of the premier trainers in the Valley. He has a couple of these balls that he's used with one of his teams. And his immediate feedback was he had his guys warm up with the ball, pass, dribble, set, and then they went into their pregame and then practice. And he noticed a clear improvement in ball handling, passing, and even shooting amongst the group.
Wow.
So because we play at a much faster pace, right? We play on a smaller court,
right?
Middle school size 17-second clock, 17-second shot clock. Because of the pace of the game, and we have our rules create fewer stoppages, no timeouts. Okay, so we don't have any timeouts. Out of bounds rule is similar to soccer as opposed to basketball. So it's the ball, not the player.
Okay.
So a guy could be sprinting towards the sideline, chasing the ball down. As long as the ball doesn't bounce completely off the court, it's still in play.
Okay.
So imagine all the turnovers that are now eliminated, and the play continues.
And that you did that just to keep up
the pace.
People going, just don't want to stop.
It's a modern challenge, right? It's a perfect incorporation of innovative game with what we do when we go to the park.
Right.
Right.
And it's going to make you better breathing techniques, better shape. You're gonna be able to run
absolutely,
longer.
absolutely.
The stops.
I need to
help
get
you
out
a
there.
million times. Yeah, you're gonna need. I told you need to. Good
So,
one, man.
DJ, I haven't asked you this, but DJ played in our beta event, and he's an active player, so he plays in adult recreational leagues, and he played in our beta event. What did you notice with regards to the pace and the wind you needed playing during the beta event compared to your rec league?
The main difference is the no stoppage of play.
Right.
So our times are smaller than like your average league by far.
Right.
But the difference is with, no out of bounds, you don't get that 1 or 2 seconds of breath.
Right.
No timeouts.
Let's go.
You don't have that, let's stop the momentum,
Right.
let's do our thing. It's you have to play with what you got going on, and if you can't critically think and keep up at the same time without help or without stopping, you're gonna fail.
Man.
You have to be in shape, and you have to really understand the rules, because one of the main things that kind of slowed us down was we weren't very familiar. So there were stoppages, but that's not normal, and that's not going to be how it is in the future. Right. It's going to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
It's just getting everybody on the same page with the rules, getting used to thinking the way the game is going, and getting the flow going.
Yeah, but the no stoppage of play is definitely the biggest aspect, because just like you said, I am an active player, but I was even gassed after 1 or 2 games, and we're playing multiple games in one day.
Right.
So, and with I think we only have like 1 sub. So if you're not in shape and you're playing 2 or 3 games, it's only like 7 minutes, but
17,
it's intense. It
17-second shot clock. That's intense.
Yeah, you got to keep going.
You got to get a move, and you got to get a shot and get it going fast. What Dan and Tony, he had the 7 seconds of left, right?
Yeah.
I think he used to play with a 7-second shot clock.
He got that from my coach, Paul West. Said, "Stop it."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I played for Paul West at Loyola Marymount University.
Oh my goodness, you played Loyola. Wow, man, that's a storied school, man. Storied school.
So, but to DJ's point, to bring some clarity, right? The different format. So, our rec league our league format is set up currently 4 teams.
Okay.
They play 12 games, 1 winner. So they play each other in a series of round robin games. Yeah. Then we take the results of that. We seed them in a single elimination games. They play that, and then they have a winner.
Wow.
Right. Right now, we're targeting $500. Right. Man. So within that, each game is either 7 minutes or 10 minutes. So what he's saying is, though a game is significantly shorter than what you get in the way you pace in the recreational league, because there's no stoppage and the pace of game, as well as the extra stress of no backboard, adjusting your game on the fly, it takes much more out of an athlete.
Definitely.
The benefit we see is all of this together creates the ultimate basketball training platform, because simply by coming out and playing, assuming you have a good foundation, you're going to get better. Yeah. You can't help, because you have to play better, demonstrate a high level of skill doing this than you do traditional basketball. So then when you go back to traditional basketball,
that's going to be easy.
It's a wrap. So when we get our first facility and I get back, I'm not coaching again until I get my first facility.
Okay.
When I get my first facility, I'm going to start coaching club basketball again. And I'm looking forward to that.
Man. Hey, man, nothing but great luck for you guys, man. I think the future is going to be great for no backboards. I love everything you guys are doing, and I will do everything I can to make sure that people hear about you guys and get the word out. What's going on with you guys' league and the great things that you guys are doing.
They've got something for you guys too. So I don't know if I got anything over there big enough for big board, but if you guys if you guys can't wear these, definitely sold a seat to somebody. So have a hoodie. DJ Mustard loves the hoodie. Have the hoodie.
Man. I do. It's my favorite. It's my favorite shirt.
And then we got a couple of T-shirts for you as well. Nice, no Backboard Basketball League T-shirts.
We really appreciate it, bro. That is really dope, man. You guys are awesome. This no basketball leagues, and it's no basketball.
No backboard basketball league.
No backboard.
It's a mouthful. It takes a minute.
Go to and it's backboard basketballleague.com too.
No backboards. No
That's right.
backboard.
Backboards.com.
No backboard. No
Everybody's
s.com.
Okay.
See, we're going to clean it up eventually. So we got
Mm-hmm.
nobackboard.com. That's the website.
So NBBL is what you probably go through in the future, something like that.
Man, I got so many things back here. You know, I got a couple of alternatives I can flip at any moment. I do.
Yeah.
And then our social media tags are at @nobackboards.
Okay.
With an S.
Okay.
So we got that. I'm actually trying to capture both sides of it.
Yeah,
so
man.
That's the
so
way.
nobackboards.com, BS. Check them out. Go to the site. Make sure you hook up with Mark T.
Yes, sir.
He's a great gentleman, and he's really, really destined to see great things with this site. Let's go to a quick commercial, bro. We'll be back quick second here. Just going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back here. It's not that long of a break. What we're gonna do is go back to Habari Weekly. If you guys, we're gonna talk about just some weekly news and everything.
Yeah, let's
you guys
do this.
Chime in? Anything you got to say?
Yeah,
chime in.
Okay.
This week we're going to talk about Biden expected to nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. The president promised highlights a group that has been underappreciated in the law. Period. In the nation's higher federal courts. President Biden and his legal team have spent a year preparing for this moment, the chance to make a good on his pledge to name the first black woman to the Supreme Court at a time of continual racial reckoning for the country. The decision by Justice Stephen G. Breyer to retire will give Mr. Biden his first high-profile opportunity since taking office to reshape the federal judiciary, having already nominated dozens of district and appeals court judges from a range of racial, ethnic, and legal backgrounds. The short list of black women included Ketanji Brown Jackson, a 51-year-old judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, who graduated from Harvard Law School and clerked for Justice Breyer, and Leandra R. Kruger, a 45-year-old justice on the California Supreme Court who graduated from Yale Law School and clerked for former Justice John Paul Stevens. I think this is a great opportunity to get a black woman on the Supreme Justice. Man, I always say that we can't change law from the outside, man. We can be outlaws. We can talk about being against what's going on in the world and against the country, but unfortunately, we can't change things from the outside. We can yell and scream all we want to, but you can't change shit unless you're on the inside. So getting Supreme Justice, somebody who looks like us in there to make decisions and have a voice, an opinion for the first time, a black woman, I think it's a great step. And I think is very, very pertinent that this happens. And I'm very happy that Biden did this. And this is, to me, why voting matters. Because with Trump in office, this would not be happening. We wouldn't see a black Supreme Court justice. Now, some people may not think that this is important, but this is very important. This is very groundbreaking. This is history in the making. We will see more black women come on as people. And some people are very upset about this. We got Republicans already screaming that we just pandering to a group. Instead of saying, hey, these are people who are...
You're saying we're pandering?
Yeah, that's what they're saying on to the other side. You know, they're already upset because they're saying he's pandering to the group. And Biden, which he really and truly, he has to do something for who got him in office. We did.
Right.
Black women are the ones who got him in office,
right.
to be for sure. They voted the most for Biden. It was the biggest demographic. So him going out and doing something for the people who got him in office is not something new. Every president has done this. So this is not pandering at all. And I think
called politics.
Exactly. This how you build a coalition, especially nowadays with the Democratic Party. So what do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think it's important? Do you like the move? Or do you think it's just eye candy for the people, just for politics?
I'll speak to it at a conceptual level because my head is so much into the no backboard effort that unless the world is slapping me in my face.
Right.
I think the key, the look and appearance of the person is great, and it's it's critical for Black kids and the young adults to see opportunities, large elite opportunities that they can strive for, know they can qualify for.
That's real.
I think the important thing is that whoever, if one of these sisters do get elected, that they have the right consciousness.
That's real.
So, and consciousness, and I think moving forward, we're going to see consciousness take forms in a lot of different ways. So that's my biggest take. I think it's awesome. It's good to have the example, but the key thing is that they have the consciousness so that when they are in power, they are truly making decisions that are taking in consideration the needs of the community.
That's real. That's real. You have anything on that, or you?
I think everything you said was spot on. As far as we complain about a lot of things, and we say that things aren't fair. But if we're not in politics, if we're not governors, if we're not, any type of lawmaker, well, what's going to change? So I do think that this is important just because it provides another vision of what we can do outside of sports. I mean, most people, what do we think about? Like you said earlier, Steph.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Steph.
Right.
But do we know those names that you just named?
No.
That are potential candidates?
We do not.
So I believe that that's one of our issues right there. And you were spot on as far as we need to be more in the political aspect that we can influence, the other aspects of our life.
That's real. We can't make changes from the outside. I know everyone wants to be against the government and hope that it fails and we can get a new one.
It's not.
How long it's been around, man?
Exactly. Yep.
It's going to be here. So if we want to make changes, we're going to have to get into what they are doing from the inside. And fortunately, too many of us has been getting into politics and becoming what the other people are.
Right.
Yep.
Instead of changing it, they're going ahead and changing into what they are and being evil. And taking money from the poor.
That's typically what happens because there's a saying, power corrupts.
Yes.
And ultimate power corrupts. I agree. There's a way to change on the inside, or you can create something completely new that the old legacy can't control.
Yeah.
And you build out.
Yeah.
No backboard basketball league. A better example is Bitcoin, crypto.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is the biggest threat that's emerging, that these opportunities are rising, technologies are rising, that if it's not taken over by the government in some season, it creates opportunity for people to break away. And that's why, corporations are struggling. How come no one's working?
Oh, yeah.
Because they have options.
Yeah.
And you guys were asleep at the wheel and didn't realize people have options.
There's options nowadays.
They're and let me tell you, if you're making minimum wage or $20 an hour and you're dealing with a culture and environment that's abusive to you, disrespects you, dealing with an abusive, power-hungry manager who's never had any true leadership training, and you can say, I can go do this and not have to deal with that,
man,
that's an easy choice for a lot of people.
Easy choice. A couple of weeks ago, a gentleman was going to be hired on as an engineer where I work. And they disrespected this gentleman and offered him $40,000 for an engineer position. And
wow.
And this is what they want to give you because he didn't have a lot of background. So they wanted to say 40,000. Like, dude, you can get that at a burger place now.
Yeah.
See, and that's the game they play, because this is what I've learned, particularly about technology. When I got into the game, all emerging technology is created by hacks outside of academia.
Right.
The stuff you learn in school is archaic. Right. So the point is, it's more about, in technology, what is your experience? What have you built? What have you put your hands on and done?
Right.
And if he's qualified, but they're trying to say you don't have, maybe this degree or that degree.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
But his work shows that he's capable. That's how they get you.
That's how they do it. And it's bull. I mean, like, I've been in the technology field for 20 years, man, and I haven't seen it move for entry level, move up from 40,000 yet. They've been doing that.
Wow.
They've been doing that for entry level. They've been doing that for at least since 2005, 2004.
Wow.
You know, the cost of living
Exactly.
has moved at exorbitant rates. We all seen it. It's just exploding.
They're saying the dollar's losing 15% a year.
Right. And with inflation and the rates of inflation going up every year, the amount of $20 it's micro compared to what it used to be at one time. At one time in the 60s and 70s, we were able to live off that type money, but those days are long.
The dollar was much stronger
Right.
as far as had more buying capacity. That's when a brother could work in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
His wife could stay at home,
Sure could
raise the kids,
Yep.
and have a strong family unit.
Yep. And he owned his home.
Yep.
And he owned his car,
and was able to retire and have some money coming to him.
But I've also read that was just an anomaly. You know, it was something in time that we would never get to. It was probably the only time that would happen. That happened because of a lot of things coming together at the same time with Vietnam and I mean the World War II and other companies and countries not having infrastructure built up to be able to manufacture and do the things that was needed at that time because after the wars, everybody else
every country was wiped out.
So we were the only ones that had the infrastructure to be able to build. That's why we had this just wide open range of just manufacturing boom. And it built something that we really thought was going to be able to, we were going to be able to sustain, but really was unsustainable because everybody else was going to get back to normal. And once they did, then we came back to earth. And we're looking back at that as the good times, but really they're times that it's unattainable. We can't get back to that. We have to figure out a way, our economy to reach forward. But getting back on something else. On my next story, I got fire rights groups sue San Jose over proposal to make a gun owners carry insurance and pay an annual fee. San Jose primarily approved the proposed ordinance on Tuesday. The Colorado-based National Association for Gun Rights filed the suit the same day, adding a U.S. district in San Jose to prevent the city from enforcing the proposed ordinance on numerous constitutional grounds, including alleged infringements on the Second Amendment. The mandate requires residents who own a gun to have a homeowner's renters or gun liability insurance policy, specifically covering losses or damages resulted from any negligent or accidental use of the firearm, including death or injury or property damage. Now, I 100% agree with this because you got cars, anything that you use that is danger or could cause harm, death to anyone, you should have to have insurance for that. Now, for people who are fighting against it, they're going to fight it all the way probably to the Supreme Court. But I think this is going to be the way to go to fight these crack gun nuts. They don't want any law. They just want free. They want it like this everywhere, where it's like how it is here, where we just got the Wild West. You see the way these police shoot us out here. It's fear on type of ignorance, on type of training. But thinking that everyone has a gun is one of the most, it's an issue. They think everyone has a gun. Right. Now, I'm not trying to give them a pass because a lot of people do have guns out here and they're very ignorant. I'm not giving them a pass because they need better training and they shouldn't be so fucking scared. But this is a problem, man. Guns in Arizona, I talk to people all the time. We are one of the worst cities when the top 5 when it comes to gun violence. People don't realize that how bad this city is when it comes to gun violence. And that's why I've always been a big proponent against these things because I see the violence myself. I've had family members and friends I've lost in this city from gun violence. So I've always been a big proponent for this. And I think that this should be something that should be going through nationwide. I know that everybody's going to fight it, but if you have a gun, why shouldn't you be insured and making sure that if anything happens with that gun, if it's stolen and something happens, that it's covered. The people are covered. The insurance is covered. Their funeral is covered. Hospital covered. That should help. I mean, these are. Do you know how much money that these guns are costing us every year?
No.
Millions upon millions that the city has happened to spend. They send money to you get killed in the streets. They have to send out money, pay out. The city pays for this. Us as taxpayers, we pay for these kids getting killed. We help to bury these kids. They take money from us to help bury these kids when you can't afford it. So and you're dying, and if you die from something, you can get paid also if your kid dies from something bad in the streets. They usually the city tries to help you out, especially if you're in financial trouble or something like that.
So, question about what you just said. So you know how you said that as far as, policing goes, there are a ton of incidents. I mean, they're on camera.
Too many, definitely.
So if an officer, does his thing and, murders someone, they're innocent, yada, yada. So as it stands now, the city pays for what that officer did?
Definitely.
Didn't know that. Wow.
If the officer shoots, kills, harms, anything, the city pays for all that.
So another question. So are police officers considered gun owners?
Now, I think there's loopholes in that because who they work for. I don't think unless it was your personal gun, it's different than a gun when you're working for a company that offers and issues guns.
But they typically keep their gun with them off duty.
I don't know about that because I know they're supposed to keep them in lock boxes, and I don't know if they supposed to. And I know when they get to work, they put them in lock boxes immediately as soon as they get to the office. When they come into the jails, they put them in lock boxes.
I know that part there.
So I don't know for sure if they have what the rules is on and stipulations on that, but I still would think that it would come to them too. I mean, to me, the city pretty much covers them for anything that they do, and they're found liable for, which is hard to do anyway. It's hard to get through the court system. We've seen it all the time.
Right.
People are going to always give the officer the benefit. But still, in the end, that court case, we pay for it. Going to court, fighting it, we pay for it. You know what I mean? All this shit that's happening, man, it's still coming out of us as a city. And these things should be going to different things, helping the homeless, feeding the homeless. You know what I mean? Different things that we've been doing to making the city better instead of everybody shooting and killing each other.
Right.
I feel like when I was a little bit younger, I really wasn't worried about, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really thinking about gun violence and all that and, you know what I'm saying, whatnot. I knew it happened, but it's never really happened, like, you know what I'm saying, happened to me personally. Then, you know, what happened to my brother, that gave me a whole different insight view of, you know what I'm saying,
gun violence.
Yeah.
And
how bad it could, you know what I'm saying, really be.
Because I believe that as a country, we don't think it could happen to us until it's too late.
Right.
Agreed.
And we all think we're the tough guy, and we're gonna be the ones that's putting out the violence, not the one that's receiving it.
Right.
We never think of ourselves as the victim. We're always the punisher.
Yep.
And until we realize that it could be either way in seconds. Easily. Because whoever gets the drop on who's dead. It's not about how much skill you have, how much training you have. A 10-year-old can get a drop on the Vietnam veteran.
Yep.
Right.
Who's been in a SEAL team and has all training.
Exactly.
But he's in there eating biscuits, chilling, and the 10-year-old coming with the gun, he got the drop on him. It doesn't matter. People, I don't think we really understand it. We watch too many John Wicks and John Waynes and Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and we get this in our head that this is what I'm going to do. Beware the owner. Don't worry about the dog.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're tough, and it's American mind state, man, that unfortunately gets a lot of people hurt, man. And
the lack of the thing that just resonates with me is the willful lack of accountability that a gun owner doesn't want to have. They don't want to have any accountability and that's a troublesome mindset.
Man.
That's a troublesome,
Very.
outlook in that and what that says to me is the only life you care about is using yours.
That's real.
Because you don't want to have if you kill somebody by mistake, you're saying, oh, well, I don't want to help cover any costs. I don't want any responsibility, regardless.
Right.
And that's the troublesome piece of it.
And a big part of the issues we have is just stolen guns from owners. And the gun comes up stolen and people don't report it. And then it comes up. And
that's another level of accountability I didn't think about because it can be stolen, used in a crime, and come up underneath you.
Right. And to me, I think that you still, unless you reported it stolen, which a lot of people don't like to do, that's still under you. That's still your responsibility.
That's your accountability.
That you still should be held accountable.
That's your accountability.
And that's just my belief for these type things.
Wow.
We're going to go into a commercial here, and we're going to have Aisha come in and do some quick things for Hollywood, and she has a test for you guys, too. So get ready for that. Let's do a couple commercials, Jimmy, here, and we'll be right back.
Hey, gentlemen, how you guys doing today?
Good.
Fantastic.
Happy to be here.
Aisha.
Perfect. I am Aisha, and I will be your Hollywood Hotness host today.
Uh-oh. Am I supposed to know some Hollywood news? Haven't been keeping up with the blogs, Aisha.
I know. I mean,
but
we like
let's
in
do
Hollywood
this.
Hotness, we like to give a shout out to, we pick a story from Hollywood that's going on throughout the week.
Everybody Hollywood.
And we
Hollywood.
also pick out a local story that we like to talk about as well for the week. So this week, for our Hollywood story, we are going to discuss Kanye
Again.
yet again.
Wait a minute. Isn't it Ye?
It is Ye now.
Yeah.
I thought it was
forget.
Ye.
That's the second
Yeah.
week I forgot that.
Yeah.
Yay. Ye.
Look, I'm just going to call him Kanye because I'm tired of the name.
Yeah,
change.
that's what we grew up with. You're
Old school,
Kanye,
your
man.
mama named you Kanye.
Yeah,
I'm going to call you
Kanye.
by your government name.
All right, so this week, Kanye has decided that he's going to team up with a brand called, it's a streetwear brand called Skid Row. And they are doing a fashion week. And he has decided that the people that will model all of his clothing for the Skid Row Fashion Week would be the homeless people.
Okay.
He says that 100% of the proceeds will be donated to the less fortunate people on Skid Row.
Okay.
I mean, that is a good thing,
Proceeds from the show or proceeds from
the show, from the Fashion Week show.
Okay.
All that will go to the homeless people. Currently, there are about 60,000 people living on Skid Row. And this is according to the brand, the streetwear brand that's Kanye is partnering with. And they're trying to call it a couture fashion show, kind of. I mean, they're trying to be like the next big fashion week, like New York Fashion Week and things like that. But
the show's in LA?
Yeah, the show is in LA.
Okay.
And he's going to use everyone that's going to model is going to be all homeless people. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to play out, considering that, that's going to take a lot of work, considering, appearances. Like, are they going to,
just leave them look bummy?
Right.
Right,
Like, I didn't
exactly.
really want to
Yeah.
say the word,
Yeah.
but you know,
Are they gonna look homeless,
Like,
or are you
you-
gonna help them, and are they gonna look like a
Regular people.
normal
Right,
model? Right.
right,
Right.
right.
His clothes look pretty
Homely anyway.
Ugly. They ugly.
Simplistic.
Oh my goodness.
His shoes are so much work. Y'all hate on Crocs. Y'all need to look at his slides. His slides have so many
They
holes
look
in
like
them.
prison slides.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. They're
Them is not Yeezys. Those are called the I did 15 to 30 years
Right.
threes. Those are what they call.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, is he going to use all 60,000 people like the brand states that, you know, that are people that are
Homeless.
homeless, right? Or is he going to just choose the best looking homeless people?
that's the thought that
that
I
he's
had.
gonna-
Exactly.
I feel like
have
when
do
you
the
pick
fashion
up
show.
when you pick up homeless people, they don't think about, oh man, I'm gonna be in a fashion show.
Right.
Like you want food.
Right. Is he going to help him, you know, with haircuts,
It's Kanye.
makeup?
It's Kanye. They pick him up. Hey, bro, put these clothes on real quick. Click, click, bye. not give him no food or nothing. Click, click.
You really think he going to do him like that?
Small for me. All right,
We'll
everybody, jump off.
We'll see. The fashion show is going to be in February. So we will see.
That's pretty. That's coming up.
What that turns out like.
Is
Get the clothes
is
off.
that during Super Bowl week?
I don't think so.
I feel like nobody gonna really worry.
I think it's like the last week of February.
Last
or
week of
something.
February.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
I think
the
Kanye
26th
knows
or
not
something.
to do his thing
16th.
during football.
I mean, you got to give it to him. He is an okay designer, but the clothes just look
You
too
wear
homely.
anything nowadays.
right? Like
So one of the beauties of things, and on some levels, I think Kanye is a brilliant dude, and his
I
resume.
mean, you got to give it to him.
His
He's-
resume is undeniable, and he's done everything he
Right.
said he was going to do.
including like he is a master genius of publicity. Anything
Man.
he does, anything he says, it's
You hear-
automatically a
You hear what he's
story.
going around saying now?
Nah, I didn't hear what he said.
Oh, he's saying Ray J and Kim K have a second sex tape, and he's saying that Pete Davidson have AIDS.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he said I got kids now.
Kids, bro. I'm done with that. I'm washed up now. I got kids.
That was his one more wish.
So I think
He's got one wish.
I think with the homeless thing, I think that's fly. It's going to be interesting to see how he turns out.
Yeah, it's
You
definitely
know,
gonna be interesting to see.
One of my one of
that.
my takes, and I've had this conversation with several people, is when it comes to the homeless, what I'm seeing out there is I think there's really three categories. You have your mentally ill.
Definitely.
They're going to demonstrate they're not capable of doing what he wants them, so they won't be in it.
Right.
You're going to have those that have fallen on hard times and don't have a support system to help them through. They're hard workers. They will get back on their feet. They just,
Don't have a place to live.
they were doing something and the rug got swept from out underneath. Critical illness, disease, medical bills can make you go bankrupt
That is true.
overnight.
Just another reason why we need to reform our healthcare system.
Yep,
But,
yep.
that's another story for another day.
You have those. And then I think there's a group of people who have just chosen to check out. It's like,
Yeah.
hey.
I
we're-
mean,
so
there
I'm,
have been times where we've talked to homeless people and they've said that,
I'm
it's a choice.
Exactly.
I choose
It's-
to be homeless.
Exactly. So I think the power of what he's doing, if he was able to provide some background stories on a few of these people.
Yeah, I think that would be nice.
To
see if
so
there's going to be some type of interview prior to the.
Just don't take the money and
wanna
go
see
get
how
drugs.
much
Right.
I want to see how much of his walk with Jesus is going to be reflected in this project.
That's a good.
So that's where I want to see, because that's going to be the measuring stick. Because you're dealing with is this going to be a benefit long term to these people?
Right.
Because there's a difference between sharing proceeds from an event
right.
and sharing proceeds from the sales of a line.
Yep.
Ooh.
And I didn't hear you say that. So I'm curious to see long term how this plays out. Because if he launched something, he's like, hey, I'm going to.
This whole
I'm gonna
line.
take a chunk of the revenues from this ongoing line in this area that deals with homework. So I'm gonna start putting money back to help this area.
Right.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely. 'Cause
But if he pimps the situation for publicity, like Young Man said, then come on, yay.
Whatever your name
Yeah,
is.
Right.
that's what my thought was. Because if you give up 50,000 in the sales from an event, but you're making $1 million on the back end.
Right.
I mean, and
How
you
does
don't have
that
to
really benefit anybody?
exactly, and you don't have to pay them because they're homeless. You just give it to the foundation.
You should have to still pay them.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Put the
is
clothes on
that
him
is
real
that
quick.
gonna happen?
Before he wakes up.
Right. So
And
like,
that's kind of
what are all the intimate details?
right. Like
Yeah.
how one I want to know is how did this idea come about to use homeless people to market a clothing line or a collaboration? Is it just to get awareness for people that are homeless, or is this something that we are aware of and we're going to try to help financially help these people get to a better position than what they are in?
That's the question.
Because I mean, I think it would cost about $3 billion to completely assist all homeless people in the nation.
Wow.
$3 billion.
Well, they're staying homeless. No, I'm kidding.
But we would rather use $3 billion for
Don't tell me that.
military
The math on
assets.
that is so simple. There's 300 and let's say there's more than 300 million people in the country. Let's take
Right.
half of them are in an economic position. What's that? 150 million times $15, something like that.
Right.
It's a wrap.
Right.
We don't solve these problems
I
because
mean, it's something that we could so easily take care of that we just
Don't.
Right. We just don't. We just look the other way.
so everybody support me my vision. When I make a few billion, I'm going to do things like that. Real
Don't
talk.
forget me.
All right. So we're going to switch gears for a second. We are going to discuss something local. This week, I wanted to discuss the Rawlings case. I'm not sure if you are aware, but in 2019, Lacey and Daniel Rawlings were on their way home from shopping. This was during Thanksgiving weekend in 2019. They had some extended family over and things like that, so they went out shopping to grab a few things. And on their way back, there was a storm. And in this area that they're in, it flash floods pretty much every time it rains.
Wow.
And over the years, there have been at least 8 deaths due to the flash flooding in this area. Now, the couple decided that, since they had driven through the area, they'd driven through the wash several other times and hadn't had any issues, they could make it through this time. That really wasn't the case this time on their way home. There were 7 people in the car. It was a military-style vehicle. It was one of those military-style flatbeds.
A Humvee?
I think it was called a Humvee, but I'm not really sure.
I wonder what they had.
But they decided that they were going to drive through the wash, and they got stuck. The vehicle got stuck in the wash because the flooding and all the excess water.
Right.
So Lacey and Daniel were able to get themselves and a few of the other children out of the vehicle, but they weren't able to get everyone.
Oh.
3 of the children remained in the vehicle and were swept away. Unfortunately, the children passed away. 2 of the children were theirs, and the 3rd child was their niece. One of their children and their niece were found approximately 1,000 yards away, while their daughter was found 20 miles downstream.
That's a huge difference.
It really is. But, the sad part is
All
that
of it could have been avoided, man.
it all could have been avoided. Right.
Wasn't on some crazy shit, evil Knievel shit.
She didn't try to stop him from going through the wash. He just as the driver of the vehicle, decided, I'm going to go. We can make it. And they didn't. And, people in the community have, they're rolling strong. They're standing up for him.
Yeah.
They think that it was a mistake they made. So they shouldn't have to really pay for
people-
that mistake.
People have to understand that the city is sick and tired of the amount of money that they have to expunge saving people from these situations. They
Right.
got to bring out helicopters because you didn't
Rescue
follow the signs,
squads.
rescue squads. You know how much money all this costs to bring out the whole rescue squad, helicopters, all this to try to get you, save you because you wanted to go through a puddle and play around. When we all told you it was flooding here, do
And there
not
was
go through here.
signs
Several signs
and
that he
warnings
ignored.
that
And people ignore them all the time, thinking that I
Right.
could just go through here, play games, and then get stuck, and we got to bring helicopters out to save your butt. So it's people play too much, and I feel sorry for the kids having to pay the ultimate price for that. But as we have to stop playing with the floods out here, man, and it happens every time. Somebody has to get saved because they ignored all the signs.
So is the city trying to extract money from the Rawlings?
no. What
They had a lot of fines they had to pay, though. It was a lot of fines they had to pay, right?
So where does the Rawlings Strong
Actually-
stand?
the Rolling Strongs comes from the community and surrounding areas, not wanting Lacey and Daniel to do any actual prison time.
Got you.
So they were trying, and there was a petition, everything like that, to keep them from going to jail. The judge used letters from the community, from people in their community, as well as their other children's statements to give them their sentence. Lacey has been sentenced to 4 years of probation under a plea agreement that she reached with prosecutors in December. While Daniel, her husband, he was facing 100 years in prison for child neglect, manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter, and child endangerment. He ultimately only received 5 years of supervised probation. So neither parent who killed their children and their niece are serving actual jail time. They are home with their other children. And, one of the statements that was given during their trial or during their hearing was from the mother of the niece that was killed. And I'm not sure I understand why she forgave them for killing her child, or why she felt that they didn't deserve to be in jail for killing her child.
Right.
I mean, I understand it was a mistake and mistakes happen all the time, but at the same time, your mistake cost children their lives. Those children were in your care. So,
They should have to pay a price, but man, it's
right,
that's a
but
hard
probation, and probation and community service, I just don't think was enough.
I think there's my thoughts are, so there are other children to these parents that are alive.
Yes,
How many?
3. There are 3 more. They had a total.
So this hits me several levels. One level, it goes back to this theme of the government being this support system to catch ignorant behavior from the public.
Right.
This is why people who think they're elite and smart feel like they should just run everything. Historically, that has been the reason why certain groups of people have sought to have control over society, because we have too many individuals out here that, for whatever reason, don't evolve to learn how to self-regulate their lives appropriately in a manner that isn't a burden to the
Right.
community. The second side of this that gets me is that, there's a level of justice, I think, that is based upon the audience that you harmed. That's
Right.
where mercy and grace comes into, right? Mercy and grace is that unjustified benefit. Unjustified. You don't deserve this favor. That's what grace is. That's what mercy is. They
Right.
don't deserve it. You should be killed. But whoever has the power to make that decision sees a reason to bestow mercy and grace on him. And I think the reason here is you still have 3 kids that possibly, we hope, because of this mistake, you're going to be outstanding parents for these 3.
Right.
And then it comes down to the point, what's the cost? What's the redemption back to the city for the cost of doing this? Can that be addressed? So, I'm of the opinion that if the community that's been offended is willing to extend mercy towards the people that did the offense, I'm good with that because it's impacting them. It's not impacting any of us from at least from an emotional standpoint, right? The way it would impact us is the percentage of our tax dollars that goes towards the government's effort to address that.
And here's where I can address that specific portion. Over the years, as I mentioned earlier, there were at least 8 people that have died over this basin, Tonto Creek.
Right.
So it has a reputation.
It has a reputation.
So no one's like really surprised that it happened again.
Right. But now that it has happened to children, the government has now granted $2 million to construct a bridge over the area to avoid this from happening again. Now, it takes it for it to happen to children for them to do this. When the city and the community have been asking for this bridge for years prior to it happening to the children. And I just think that, we've been asking you for this for X amount of time and you've denied us time and time again. And now that it's happened to our children, what are you going to do about it? And they're like, okay, well, we can give you a bridge and it's $2 million and the construction is set to start in October of this year. But they still haven't found the construction company to take the contract to construct the bridge for them yet. So I'm kind of, I want to know how big is the bridge going to be? Like how tall is that bridge going to be due to the flooding in that area? Is it going to be high enough to where when the waters does rise, that people can safely drive over it without being in a flooded area? That's one thing that I would like to know from that. But, we'll see what happens when they start doing the construction on it. We'll keep you updated. But, we have one more item that we're going to discuss today. And that is your final exam.
Oh, we got an exam.
Let's do it. Pop quiz. I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1. I'm going to let you know before I read the question. There are 5 questions. If you get 3 out of the 5 correct, we will donate to your charity of choice. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right.
Ready.
Number 1. In the year 2000, who was the first NBA player to record back-to-back 50-point games?
2000?
Yes. In the year
That's
2000.
21 years ago, back-to-back. I got to give that to Kobe Bean.
Man.
What's your guess?
Let's see. 50 points.
Back-to-back 50.
Back to back.
You can get it one time, but to go back-to-back, you got to have game, I think. This could be one of those anomalies I'm missing, but I'm going to go with Kobe Bean.
Man, I don't know. 2000. There's.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
That would be Antoine Jameson.
Anton Jameson.
Okay, yeah. So I wouldn't have guessed that.
I wouldn't have
That's
guessed.
what we
Yeah, I
said
wouldn't have
last
guessed
night.
that.
It wouldn't even
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
He asked us the question last night.
Well,
We both said Kobe.
Jameson.
We both said Kobe last night. She was like, nope. I was like,
Although-
who?
In one of the back-to-back games, Kobe did score 50 points that night. It was on December 6th.
Oh, wow.
However, he didn't do it in back-to-back games.
Right.
Right.
Who got more championships? No, it's not.
Yeah, how many rings you got?
How many rings you got, bro?
Question 2. In 1891,
Oh,
who invented the game of basketball?
do you know that answer? You should know that answer. If you don't know that answer,
Oh, it's Naismith, ain't it?
Yeah.
James Naismith.
Yeah, Naismith.
He wasn't Dr. Naismith yet. Thank you for the layup.
Yeah.
She gave us a layup.
Yeah.
Thank you for the layup.
Yeah, with the peach baskets, we know that one. We know that one.
All right. Which NBA player
Mm.
has the most steals
Ooh.
in a single season?
You're gonna say it's one of the answers we said last night.
I think my guess is Chris Paul.
See, told you. I knew he was. I told you.
I'm going to go with, I'm thinking of two, but I'm going to go with the brother. They called him the glove, Gary Payton.
Mm.
See, hold on.
We did last night.
That would be Alvin Robertson.
Who that?
Yeah, I don't even know who that
He
is.
said Chris Paul. We said the same things last night.
That's great.
Alvin
Alvin
Robertson with
Alvin
301
Alvin.
steals in
Oh, wow.
a single season.
What season was that again?
Yeah, that I'm curious about that.
1921. I was lying.
I think Alvin played in the 70s.
Ooh, wee.
Yeah, there's no way.
Nah, nowadays everything's a foul.
Yeah.
Everything's a foul.
I do believe that the current NBA season,
Weak.
it's better. It's better as far as the foul calls are.
Oh, this year,
I'm not saying it's perfect, but
It is definitely better
if,
than it has
if you've
been in the
seen
last
James
few
Harden's
years.
stats, his stats are down.
Down.
And that's because of the rules. Yeah. So I definitely think that they're working on it for sure.
Yeah.
But you know,
they
my
definitely
boy, you know what I'm saying? Steph Curry still out there shooting. Like ain't nothing happening.
He had an adjustment.
All right, you guys ready? What
I am.
NBA player has the most assists in a single game?
I'm gonna go with Rondo.
Wilt Chamberlain.
And y'all said that with so much confidence. So much confidence.
I don't know.
I was like,
Well, because Wilt Chamberlain led the league in assists one year, and I know he's doing some crazy numbers. So I thought it might have been him.
It would have been Scott Skiles.
Scott Skiles.
Wow. Yeah,
Scott Skiles.
that's an
I think
older
Scott
that's an older
Skiles played at
generation for
Irvine.
sure.
Scott
Man, I
Skiles,
sure don't know.
Scott
He
Skiles.
didn't know that one.
No one's gonna think of Scott Skiles off the top of your head.
He thought of it right off the top of his head when I asked him last night.
You
He
knew
just
it was Scott
like,
Skiles?
I knew that one.
How did you know that?
he's old.
You saw that
He's
someplace.
old.
That piece of information.
He's like
took you
78.
to remember it.
Yeah, and when he played for them, he was at least what 45 at that time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, don't believe him.
That's why he had so many assists. He couldn't do nothing. He had the basketball.
Alvin played from 84 to 93.
Oh wow, yeah.
By San Antonio.
It's not bad.
Alvin Robinson?
Right.
all right.
Okay, yeah.
Round 1, pick 7, so he was a hot draft pick.
Oh yeah.
You guys ready for the final question?
Yeah.
This team
Mm-mm.
had the worst record
Mm.
in the league in 2011-12.
Oh, I don't know this one.
I'm gonna
I
go
don't
with
know.
Cleveland
I'm gonna go.
because that's around that LeBron James leaving era. So I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
2012?
11-12, the
2011.
2011-12 season. This team had the worst league in the record.
Oh, we don't know.
Worst
Wait, hold up.
Worst
me-
record in the league.
I don't know this
Tongue
one.
tie.
Well, I'm just going to, you know what, because I'm a Laker fan, I'm just going to throw shade. The Clippers.
The Hawks.
That would be the Charlotte Bobcats.
Who?
The
I was
Bobcats.
The Bobcats.
That are now the Charlotte Hornets that's giving everybody problems.
Right.
My boy LaMelo, tough. Nah.
It took him 10 years. As
GM?
GM.
He finally got it now.
It took them 10 years to get it, but they
I
got
think
it.
was,
Yeah.
Johnson who owned the Bobcats, right?
Yeah, Bob.
Bob Johnson.
So Bob Johnson, the first black brother to own the majority of team, and then
He was pioneer.
Definitely.
But, he sucked as a basketball.
I think O'Du's gonna be a basketball owner when he retires. LeBron. He'll be a good GM. He'll be a good GM.
But what
Yeah,
team he gonna buy into?
Don't worry, they'll make room for him.
You like that team?
They're gonna make room
Other
for
than this
LeBron.
team.
Don't worry about it.
Other
They'll
than
get a
this
team.
one,
You really think they'll make room for him?
They make room for Jordan.
yeah.
Those are the
Yeah,
brothers that
I
are going
think
to
he
be
has enough money.
qualified to be able to get in and own their team.
Let's just hope he
Well,
doesn't.
he already owns teams now. It's just not basketball.
Let's
It's
just hope and pray he doesn't go all the way into movies, because that's where his gonna.
He's trying though, man. He's trying to build a media company, man.
Yeah, he can't do movies. I refuse to give Space Jam a try.
You don't want him to act, right?
I refuse to watch LeBron's Space Jam.
It was terrible.
I refuse to watch it.
It was bad. It was aimed for kids though. So
The original Space Jam was aimed for kids, and
but kids were more mature back then than now.
Huh?
Right, huh?
Yeah.
No.
Not now. More than now.
I guess.
People so sensitive now.
Yeah, your generation is soft.
I'll give you that one.
They had to change Lola Bunny because
Right.
Yeah,
they
they-
had it all the way just
Lola was fine. I do not care. Lola had the crop top jersey, the short shorts.
True.
Yeah, they had to change that because they like.
Now they got
Yeah,
Lola
that's
Bunny.
why I refuse to watch it. They made so many changes to make it
Well, they got to make it PC now.
too
Fit.
politically
Right.
correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And that's the
That is just not.
Is Lola Bunny a she?
That's the
Yes.
beauty of the modern day, because of the concept of the long tail. Meaning, we grew up in the era you had no choice. ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS. That was it.
Right.
Now
alphabet.
there's so many outlets that you can find your space. And so exactly. It's like instead of worrying about where's my space? I'm looking for my space. Where's my tribe? Where's my group that wants?
Right. Yep.
And that's really
And now you can
then you
pick
can
a
just
certain
stay.
channel and just be like, boop,
You can
this
stay
is
in your
mine.
lane.
They changed
Yeah.
so much to Lola Bunny. Like they've
He's
been
stuck on Lola Bunny.
I'm stuck on Lola. Oh, Lola.
Man,
Boy, y'all you
I need to.
I
let
felt
me-
like bugs, you know what I'm saying? Lola.
And you're saying that you were the mature one.
It's not
Other people like you want to change Lola Bunny.
You're the mature 16-year-old.
If it wasn't Lola, it was Jessica Rabbit.
I'm gonna give you that
Jessica
one. I'm gonna
Rabbit.
give you that one.
Jessica
Yeah,
Rabbit.
I mean,
Jessica Rabbit. Yeah.
All right, so we get to keep our money this week, fellas.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
do. Great questions. You definitely took me out my element there.
Hey, that's what we aim to do. We're going to get you all comfortable, get good and ready, and be like, oh, I'm good. I got this. And then we're going to throw you a curveball.
Okay,
Right.
so let me real quick question for you guys. What was the first all black professional salaried basketball team?
Starting 5.
So a basketball
Celtics.
team that was owned by a black man. All the
Oh.
players were black, and they all were on salary. Harlem Globetrotters, interesting enough, though the Harlem Globetrotters are close to 100 years,
Yeah.
they may be close to 100, over 100 years old, right?
St. Louis Blackhawks.
I believe they've only been on majority.
Majority of the time.
They only had a majority black owner for about 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's in the late 90s.
That's
the St. Louis
unbelievable.
Blackhawks. I don't know.
No, the Harlem Renaissance. And the last name is Douglas. Sometimes I get it mixed up with Bob. His last name is Douglas, and he is the first guy to put his Black Fives team on salary.
Wow.
And John Wooden considered them the most dominant basketball team you ever seen.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, and here's the thing, and then I'll just cut my comments off here. The thing is, and I heard this, and this drove it home to me because I think this is blasphemy. And this is the very first time I have bought into the idea that ESPN and the media really are in cahoots with other organizations. Because Stephen A. Smith had the goal to say that basketball started with the NBA in 1949. that is such a damaging concept to put out there.
Right.
Because you have the first black professional basketball player who is Harry
Bucky Lou.
1902, 18 years old. And from there all the way up until the founding of the NBA.
In
you
1946.
1946, okay? You have all of these black-owned teams, barnstorming. It was a whole community, a culture thing, right? Which now, because we're conditioned to associate basketball, NBA basketball, that there's no space in people's consciousness to see something different.
Right.
Right.
And we barely talk about the first NBA black player.
Yeah.
But we definitely talk about anything before that became how we got into
that's where
and how the game was all started and how Naismith created the game and
how we got into the black community.
Right.
How people from there, they just come out of nowhere.
No,
Yeah,
it came
the NBA
out.
just didn't come out of nowhere, right?
It came out of the YMCA was opening all YMCA's for black folks in black communities. They was executing their Christian duty and they's putting it in, and then from there, churches start putting courts in, social clubs, and they start creating their own teams and they start playing each other.
Local teams and everything like that, right?
And then guys would start traveling around and barnstorming.
It's like because basketball is such an easy sport to get. All you need is you, a basket, and a ball.
It's the most dynamic sport out there because, to your point, we can go out by ourselves, man. Moms maybe get on my nerves, etc. I can go out on that court by myself. I mean, that's why real basketball players, like, there's a refuge, there's a meditation. Every time I pick up a ball, it's like, ooh, the anointing,
Definitely.
you know. And it's just a special game. It's a special game.
Definitely. Well, I do thank you both for coming to the show.
Oh, thank you. It's been fabulous.
Can you one more time give everybody information on where they can find you guys?
Absolutely. First, let me give a shout out to my man DJ Mustard, IG at DJ Mustard with a Z.
Yes, sir. Don't forget the Z. It's important.
Don't forget the Z. It's important. At No BackBoards with an S. At No BackBoards with an S. IG, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. If you want to connect on LinkedIn, if there's any business-minded people out there, you can find me at Mark T E Armstrong. Mark with a K, T Armstrong. And then the website is nobackboard.com. And if you're interested in becoming a member of the social club and really supporting this effort, you can also go to Patreon /No BackBoards with an S.
Perfect.
I already followed y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We are going to wrap it up.
That's it. All right. Thank you, Aisha. We appreciate it. The game was excellent. Everything was excellent. Thank you guys for coming through. Everything was great. You already let them know exactly where to get you and how to contact you and everything.
Yes.
That's awesome. And we appreciate everybody listening. Make sure to go to abarientertainment.com for all your news, updates, and information that you want to get throughout the week. Also sports, we also have that also. We got the Suns win last night. That was big. Beat Minnesota. We had Charlotte
Suns
beat
are balling.
Lakers.
That's blowing my mind.
Yeah, Suns are good, man. And,
I gotta give Chris Paul his
Westbrook.
What he scored 35?
He scored 30 in the first half.
Wow.
Seen that.
Westbrook?
Yeah, Westbrook had
They
a good
let him
game
lose?
finally. Yeah.
I don't
But
think
it was
LeBron
without
played.
them. Yeah, without
It
LeBron
wasn't.
and
I don't
AD.
think. Yeah.
Did they beat the Nets?
They lost to the Charlotte.
Oh, the Charlotte. Oh, yeah, they's gonna lose that game.
Yeah, they lost.
I was like, they're not beating Charlotte.
Charlotte ain't no
At
joke.
Charlotte, no.
Somebody
Shout
just
out to LeVar Ball. He did his
did.
thing with his boys, man.
Yep.
You
You got to give it to him, man.
2 out of 3. No, it's fine.
Like 2.5.
gotta
Right.
the third one's gonna settle in the middle.
He'll get it. He'll get it together.
Because he's already living a great. Come on,
Yeah.
he's living a great
Definitely.
True.
life. He's already got.
Mhm.
He's living a great life.
I think he's in the G League right
He's
now.
in the G League.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in
he
the
doesn't
G League.
necessarily have to go to the NBA.
Exactly.
He
That's
doesn't have.
he's in the
No, he
middle. He can manage
He's cool.
the businesses.
Yeah.
He's gonna have resources to find his
Yeah.
lane.
There's a
they're
third
good.
Manning brother too.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a third.
They,
There's a third
no,
member.
Archie, ain't it?
Right.
I don't know if he was named.
Archie's dad,
Archie's
but
the
there's
dad.
a.
I thought the younger one. I thought his name was Archie too.
I don't know.
Oh.
I
But
could be
just
wrong.
know-
Oh, wait a minute. There's 4 of them.
Oh, is it?
There's a, I thought that.
Because
I
I
don't
thought
know.
there
I
was a
thought there-
little
I
Archie.
just know
No,
that
there's
there's one
there's
that didn't go to the
another
NFL.
generation.
Oh.
There's a third of them,
Oh, okay.
but they have like a nephew or
Oh
cousin.
yeah,
or
he's
something.
going to be good.
Oh,
too.
okay.
There's like I think it's the one who didn't play, son. That's looking
Mhm.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
It might be
man.
him.
Yep,
Yep.
like
Same
he's-
high school they all went to too.
Yep, went to the
Mm.
same high
Still
school.
connected,
Yep,
yeah.
and he's probably going to go on to
Absolutely.
Tennessee. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Or something like-
or
or
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yep, Mississippi, whatever.
Something.
But hey, what's up?
Draymond Green is on Inside the NBA. What's it called? That TNT show with Shaq and Chuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Draymond will be on
Oh.
TV after he's done.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
He's great.
Have you checked his
He's fun.
podcast out yet?
No, I
Yeah,
haven't,
I've
but
seen
it's
it.
he's really good, man.
Yeah.
He's
he,
really
he
good.
has it. It's a
He
beautiful
will be
thing.
on TV in the future. Once he hang it up, he has a great career in television
Yep.
because he's an excellent speaker. I
Yep.
love what he does. But hey, we appreciate you guys. Until next week,
Awesome.
holla.
Just exit out.
It's kind of large.
I did. It said it was.
I'll have because I have to download it from here.
I got it.
Once I